We got some Diamond League athletics. I think we're closing at the end of the season.
Love a bit of Diamond League.
Yeah. Here to chat about that and other matters besides is Olympic long jump gold medalist, Manchester United fan, Greg Rutherford. Hi, Greg.
Hello, Greg.
Good afternoon, guys. How are we going? Good to see you.
Yeah, we're not bad.
I was at the Diamond League meetings when it's absolutely pouring with rain.
Yeah.
They're the ones I like, when it's absolutely hammering it down and they still have to do the athletics.
Yeah.
I don't know why I enjoy that more.
I'm glad you like it because I have to do that many a time. Jumping into a sandpit when it's
wet sand
throwing down. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Not for me. But it does add a level of jeopardy as well, which is quite good fun.
That's true. And long jumping or anything involving the sand in the rain can't be a lot of fun because you're basically sort of jumping into cement, aren't you? And then it all sticks to your socks. It gets in your spikes.
Absolute nightmare.
Get changed, dry yourself off. Anybody trying to get wet sand off. I know it's a bit of a first world problem, but still.
Yeah, it's not one we particularly enjoy. And the thing is with the sand as well, it literally gets everywhere. So I'll leave that up to your imagination.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, you'll shower, your bath, you'll try and get it off. You'll get into bed at night, you'll still find sand. It is ridiculous. But actually, I'll tell you what, the high jumpers, the pole vaulters probably have it a bit worse. Because the mats they land on, they absorb all the water as well. So they're literally like jumping onto a dirty, great wet sponge.
Yeah, lovely.
So it's, less than ideal.
Now, before we get into that, you're going to tell us why 58% of families have spent less time outside this year than the year before.
Yeah, well, this is research that Yacht Play have been putting together, and it's quite a worrying situation. Look, we all know that I think kids' habits have changed slightly when it comes to sort of being active and being outside. And when you then see the stats that are behind it, you realise genuinely it is massively changing. And this is looking into the fact that kids aren't outside as much. You want to expect to get about 60 minutes a day at least of active play, ideally outside, and it's just not happening. 50% of kids aren't doing this, and this is causing bone health issues as well. So alongside not being outside, we're then also not getting in the right amount of calcium and vitamin D. And obviously Yacht Play are known for their yogurts, and it's obviously a great source of getting it in. But we have to get the education going. It's showing as well that about 85% of parents spoken to on this as well, they're desperate for the government to give some advice and give some more understanding in this, because you hear so many different things going on around the world about what's good for you, what's not. We need some actual information that's getting in there to help you to understand the levels of, say, calcium and vitamin D. Anybody listening or watching at the moment, if you've got children or you look after kids, you want the very best for them. And actually having strong bones is a huge part of that. So we created the Permit to Play petition, which is literally going directly to the government to get them to try and take bone health a little bit more serious, because it really is a major problem.
Yeah, well, good luck. It sounds like a very good idea, definitely. So we were saying, myself and Andy on the show the other week after the European Championship, just how enjoyable it was. We don't see enough athletics really on sort of terrestrial telly. You were part of the coverage, of course. But I think a lot of people really enjoyed that week. And it's good, isn't it? Because, as I said, I think it was like Andy was saying, like athletics sort of, it felt sexy again, didn't it, to see it back on the screens?
Yeah, it did. And I think the athletes did an incredible job. And actually, a couple of weeks before that, if you remember, me and Natalie Sawyer were in the talkSPORT studios, and we were doing the Commonwealth Games as well.
Yeah.
It up really nicely, the athletics being at the back end of the Commonwealth Games. Then we had a week's break, and then, as you say, it came back onto the BBC that we had the Europeans on. And it was exactly that. We had some great athletes turning up, really sort of pinning their colours out there and showing that actually we can be a bit more brash, we can be a little bit more out there, we can act probably a bit more like the Americans, which is who we always associate with being the dominant force in athletics. And we look at someone like Amy Hunt, who goes away with 4 gold medals in the sprints, which is a remarkable achievement. Dina Asher-Smith becomes the most decorated athlete in European history. Matt Hudson-Smith, the most decorated male. And it's one of those that you just sort of say, Great Britain is exceptionally good in Europe when it comes to athletics, and they showcase that on such a level. We were obviously just shy on winning overall on the medal table. Italy just trumped us on the last day, in the last event as well. They managed to
that, yeah.
Yes, right in the men's 4x4, which was a bitter pill to swallow. But I think Birmingham in general, it was just a fantastic Europeans, and it does get people's eyes on it. It does get people excited by athletics again. And I think it's probably been since really the 90s when we had the real sort of influx of eyes and people really obsessed with it. And that was the post-Cohen Yvette era, when you had the Linford Christies, Sally Gunnells and Colin Jacksons and etc. And now we've got a situation where you've got Keely Hodgkinson, Amy Hunt, Matt Hudson-Smith, Josh Kerr as well, of course, who a couple of weeks ago broke the mile world
mile record, didn't he? Yeah, it was crazy. It was amazing, Josh Kerr.
Josh Kerr's not running against Inga Britson. He's involved in this Diamond League, isn't he? And of course, Keely Hodgkinson's decided she's not going to take part in this against Audrey Vero, who's going to go for probably a world record tonight, isn't she, in the 800, and quite a contentious record as well, Greg.
Yeah, it is. I think I've probably been quite outspoken about it over the last few years. And there's a couple of records that are in there, women's 8 being one of them, which I don't want to say you have to take with a pinch of salt, because obviously the athletes still had to run the times, but it was in a very different time for the sport. So from that point of view, I think if Audrey can get, I mean, blimey, it's still a really tough ask for her to get there yet. She's so young as well, still learning the event. But Audrey does look like she's the closest to getting it. Where I think a year ago we would have said it would have been Keely, like without question. And Audrey's had this absolutely meteoric sort of rise to success, and obviously beat Keely at the European. So that will be a really, really exciting race to see. But Femke Bol as well. I mean, in the last Diamond League last week, Femke came really close to actually taking her as well, which I think makes probably the women's 800 is it's got to be probably the most exciting event in all of athletics at the moment, because they are pushing this world record. There is 3 of them that are so close in time and ability. So from that point of view, it makes it just an incredibly exciting watch.
Do you want to talk a bit of Man United?
Well, yeah,
Greg?
if we must, I guess.
Terrible start of the weekend, but not as bad as Paul's start, but Spurs start. But
I mean, away,
Hull City away. I mean, if you went into that probably thinking, oh yeah, it's 3 points here, but they were good, weren't they?
They shouldn't have done though, should they? Because it's like a cup tie when you go to a team that's just been promoted, and they should have been ready for that, shouldn't they, Greg?
And that was the big thing. They didn't look ready, did they? They didn't come out the blocks quickly at all. It was one of those where Hull brought the game to them, and Man United just didn't seem to have any answers. It was bizarre to watch. And I think we had a little bit of a wake-up call with the AC Milan final pre-season, and obviously for Ruben Amorim to get one over on the club that's got rid of him sort of 8-9 months before, it's less than ideal. But you sort of watched that and you thought, okay, maybe it's just a little bit of a hangover. Last game, they're getting ready for the whole match, and it just didn't come together. Obviously, getting in Belieber now as well. We'll see if that can, once he's fit, of course, if you can plug that midfield issue. But I know left back's looking a bit dodgy as well, isn't it? And these are the conversations that you hope are going on behind the scenes at the club to make some form of move. Ipswich next, of course, and on Sunday, and that's going to be, again, if you looked at the start of the season, you're going, well, the first couple of games, at least, United should get 6 points out of that.
Looks
but
like
after what's happened with Hull, I don't know, they've got to raise their game, haven't they? Like, you look, Man United, we're not obviously the force that we had been previously. There is some exceptional players still within that team, but when you watch them play as they did against Hull, no urgency, no real move, nothing up, completely toothless up front. That was really worrying to see. But again, it's the first game of the season. We can't all sort of throw our tools out the pram and say it's going to be a complete and utter disaster. We have to see now how they build from that, how Carrick can get them going again. And hopefully the leaders within that dressing room will get the youngsters together and get them actually firing on all cylinders, because they needed, maybe they needed that wake-up call as well.
Thanks, Greg. Enjoy tonight. All the best.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Greg. Greg Rutherford, Olympic gold medalist, of course, London 2012, Manchester United fan.